Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Jerry Royce, and welcome to the Positive Power 21 Network with Uncovering Mr. Right, My Love Story. Please sit back, relax, release, and enjoy this presentation of Uncovering Mr. Right, My Love Story. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh,
hello.
My feet's still jumping. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Jerry Royce with Positive Power. We're with the Uncovering Mr. Right website. When it's all positive, it's all power. Tonight on the show, we have Mr. Victor Hamilton. He's here to talk about his love story. Now, you guys know that we usually have our married men come on My Love Story, and they tell us exactly, what they went through before they met their significant other, their fiance or their wife. And they pretty much take us through the whole chapter of their life so we can understand what they went through and what the women went through before they fell in love. Because it's a pretty long journey for some of us. And some of us pretty lucky to get married at an early age, right after high school or right after college. But then some of us didn't happen until we was in our 40s. Some cases 50 when you found the love of your life. But it doesn't matter as long as you find that person. Right, Mr. Victor?
That's true. That's correct.
All right. Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, Vic. Now, I understand you got a little cold, man, but my audience are very, very sympathetic, so we understand. We just want to hear your story. All right?
All right. Okay.
All right. And also, we have on the show, we have Latrina on the show. How you doing today, Latrina?
I'm doing good, Jerry. I'm doing good. Hanging in there.
All right. And that's our Detroit co-host. She throw it down, but, she's been really nice to the married guys. So, Victor, you're going to be safe tonight, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, if you was a single guy, I can't hold her back because she's way out there in Detroit. So Detroit, they still mad about their football team. So we gotta be careful with the trainer sometime. Right, Latrina?
That's right. Them Ravens. I don't know about them.
I know we still riding on that Super Bowl.
That's right. Yeah.
Super Bowl 47. All right. Go Ravens. All right, Mr. Hamilton, before we get started and jump right into the questions and learn a little bit about you and your lover. I mean, not your lover, your wife.
Don't get him in trouble, Jerry. Don't get him in trouble.
I bet I get him in trouble. But I know he always smiling, so he's a happy married man. I know that's what.
I try to be positive.
That's right, man. That's why you don't
always be positive.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, Vic, before we get started, man, just give us a little background about yourself, and then we'll jump right into the questions and everything. Okay?
Okay. Well, I'm a retired Navy veteran, and I did 21 years in the military, and I've been working for the federal government for 10 years now, and that's been fairly successful. I'm very satisfied in my career, and it's nice to have a second career. I started working in the federal government 2 weeks after I retired, so that was really wonderful. I have 2 adult daughters. They are 26 and 28. They'll be 27 and 29 this year.
Wow.
And I've been in Maryland since 1984.
Okay.
So I've been here a very long time. My original home is South Carolina and Georgia, but I've been here for a very long time, and I have my sisters here and 3 sister-in-laws.
All right.
Are also up here. All came up from the South.
Good.
So it's been a very lucrative move. Everyone has careers, and everyone is doing very well. Both of my daughters are college graduates, and they're doing well. And their mom is a professional nurse and doing well, and it's just a blessing. Let me see. When I started working at Social Security, I kind of had no idea what I was kind of getting into in a way, But a friend of mine that I used to work with in the military told me about Social Security and had me fill out the application, all that kind of stuff. And I've never looked back, and it's been a great, rewarding career. So it's afforded me to live a decent life, see my kids through college, and all that good stuff.
All right. So Victor, did you say you retired from the Navy?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wow, that is
years.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah,
fantastic.
21 years. That was rough. That was rough because you're always on the go. You always you got deployments and all that kind of stuff, and that was very, very. It was tough. But
I bet you guys did really well with it because you had a chance to stay in Hawaii and some of the beautiful places where we had the naval bases.
Well, I never got to Hawaii, but I've been to the Holy Lands, all over Italy, France, Spain. I've been to Dubai. Let me see, Greece, Turkey, Japan.
Oh, wow.
So I've had quite some travel, and it's really broadened my mind, and it opens your mind up, and you get to see the rest of the world, and it changes your views on things. You're not so much, thinking inside a small box.
Right.
And I think that when a young man can, because I was 19 when I joined the military, and it matured me. It allowed me to see, and other countries and how people live, and appreciate what we have here just that much more. It really, really gave me an appreciation. I think sometimes we take for granted, what America means. And when you go to other countries and you see people living in cardboard boxes and things like that, you're like, wow, even our projects is a palace compared to what some people, are dealing with. So it caused me to refocus and mature and just see life differently. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
Absolutely. Sound like you had a wonderful experience in the Navy. Wow.
Oh, I really did. I really did.
Yeah.
And to be 19 and 20 and 21, living in Japan for a year and a half and learning that culture, it was beautiful. The people were very friendly, but at the same time, nothing was like home.
That's right.
No matter how great the people were or what have you, nothing ever took the place of home.
That's true.
I always longed to come back.
All right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Vic. When we met, I met you when you was just coming into your new assignment. You was in a development program, and I think I had heard the good news after I think a few weeks they gave you a permanent position. Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Right.
And I thought it was a small world that I worked with your sister-in-law in my previous unit, and then I come over there and I met you.
That's right.
And it's just been a fantastic journey. The development program allowed me to try out different jobs, and I wanted to get into full-fledged management, and it allowed me to do that because I love people, and I love mentoring people and watching them achieve their potential.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I knew management would allow me to do that.
Yeah, and that was a good opportunity for you, man. You came right on in. You were a perfect fit. I know we didn't get a chance to hang out. Yeah, I know you and I didn't get a chance to have lunch or anything because I think when you were coming in, I was on my way out.
Yeah, you on your way out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing the same thing. You were in the development program.
Yep, got picked up for that because I was hoping that they was gonna, make an offer to me, while I was there. But because there was so many things was happening so fast, and in the component. So, but when that came about, that was just as good. Learning something new. Meeting new people. That's how I met Latrina. Right, Latrina.
That's true.
And that would have never happened. Yeah, one of my very good friends. I almost could tell you that Latrina is like a best friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is wonderful.
I don't know what I would do without Jerry.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, man.
And she She works in Detroit?
Yes, right now, right, Latrina?
Yep, I'm in Detroit, and I was in Baltimore for 6 months. I'm in the leadership program I'm in now, so
Okay.
I'm back in Detroit, and I'll probably be here for another 4 to 5 months, and I'm hoping to permanently end up that way.
Oh, in Detroit?
Yeah, no, in Baltimore.
Okay, Baltimore. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be back out that way.
Yeah,
Plus
she's
my,
feeling.
my sweetie's in Washington, so yeah, I'll definitely be on that side of the U.S.
Yeah.
But you know what happened though, Victor? She fell in love with Charm City.
Oh, I know she did.
Man,
and so did I.
Look, we have another co-host that joins us when we live. She loves Charm City. I think they've been more places here than I have.
Wow.
Yeah, all the real nice restaurants and the lounge. Yeah, they've been doing it up here, man.
Yeah, I've always loved Baltimore because it has a small town charm to it.
It does.
And when I first came here in '84, growing up down south, I've always wanted to see the White House in Washington D.C., but it was Baltimore that I fell in love with. And because Baltimore, like I said, it just has a small town charm to it, and I can navigate it much better. So maybe that's why I gravitated towards Baltimore.
Oh yeah, it's easy to get around. That's true.
Right, and I absolutely love Baltimore.
And one thing I like about it too, one thing cool about Victor is you kind of know where not to go.
Right. That's true.
See, they say that, okay, I'm from Detroit, and when I came to Baltimore, they were like, you know what, make sure you don't go here, don't go there. And I was talking to someone, I'm like, well, I don't know my way around Baltimore, and I heard Baltimore was kind of rough. And the person was like, well, you from Detroit, so, I mean, you know rough. But I think when you're from a different place and you're coming into another place that might be as rough as where you're at, you still are kind of cautious of where you're going to, because in Detroit, I can know where I want to go and navigate myself and kind of be aware of my surroundings. But coming from an outsider, I kind of wasn't really familiar on what to look out for.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I've learned that no matter where you go, there's good and bad in these cities, and they all have the bad news that you hear, and at the same time they all have good things about them. And they're all dangerous. I don't care what city you go to, big or small.
Right.
They're dangerous sides. There are sides that are nice. Even in my hometown in Charleston, is a wonderful city, but there's dangerous sides too.
Oh yeah. It's like certain times of the day, certain places you just don't need to be. When like they said, like our coach say, you shouldn't be nowhere after. There's no good place after midnight. Or something like that.
Right.
No, I think they say it's nothing open after midnight except for legs, Jerry. I think that's
what is that what he said? Well, no, he said no good things happen after midnight. That's what he said. That's what Coach Harbaugh said. No good things happen after midnight. Yeah,
I just the thing that gets me is I wish there was just a way that we can get back on track. With the crime and things like that. I wish there's a way we can get back to the basics and, start back respecting our seniors and valuing them. I think that when we stopped, valuing, our families, our parents and things like that, they just kind of fell by the wayside. Every time in the news you hear of someone killing their parents or killing their grandparents, and when I think of my grandmother and the influence that she had on me as a young child, she's been, dead and gone since '88, but she still lives in me. And, things that she taught me at a young age still resonates with me. She taught me that, your word has to be your bond. If your word means nothing, you mean nothing. If you say something, mean it. And, things like that, that link that a grandparent brings, that wisdom, it seems like it's lost, and I feel that I've been able to achieve the things that I've achieved in my life because of the influence of my grandmother and my mother. And my mother is, I should say, a wonderful parent. She didn't play no mess.
Right.
If you needed to be whipped, she whipped you. But at the same time, she showed you that she loved you. So, right. I never wondered, did my mother love me? I knew she loved me. And I knew when she whipped me it was because I did something wrong. She never abused me. She disciplined and loved me. And I think that you can't have love without discipline. You just can't.
Absolutely.
But Victor, it's like family ties are changing now, and it's like you got babies raising babies. I was just telling my best friend that, when I was growing up, we knew who was on our street. We knew who our neighbors were.
Yeah.
And I was just telling her, I've been staying in the place I'm in for about 2 years, and I don't even know anyone out here. So it was like, we don't know who's staying next to us. People are coming and going. And it's just times are changing, and it's crazy because we used to look out for each other, and I don't know how we can get back to that.
Right, there's no sense of community and or nothing. I remember growing up. It wasn't just a parent or grandparent that influenced you, but the neighbors. There was a lady named Miss Juanita that lived up the street in between where I live and going to school every day. And I walk past her house every day. Miss Juanita, you need anything from the store? Yeah, baby, go get me some sodas. And she would give me like $1.30 or something, and I go get her a little 6-pack of soda. And she would give me a nickel, for going to get the soda. And I would say, oh, no, ma'am, I can't take this. My mother said, I cannot accept it. She said, well, you take it. And, but you have to be grateful. It was just a nickel, but I was grateful, because she gave it from the heart.
That's right.
And we never did anything expecting anything. And the respect that I had for her, I never walked past her yard without saying good evening or good morning or anything, And because, my mother used to instill in us that, when you're in the street, you represent me. And if you're being disrespectful or not handling, conducting yourself accordingly, you bring shame on me.
That's
and we didn't want to do that.
That's right.
But those concepts are gone.
They are.
You're right. We have
You're
more now than we ever had before, but we have no respect.
Yep, times have changed, man. But and I think sometimes, like you talking about family, you gotta have that real tight family, man. It don't necessarily have to be both parents in the house, but if grandpop is dead, or Uncle Mike is dead, or those people step in and help raise the child. And so you don't have a lot of that going on right now. Everybody's just all over the place. And I think that's the problem. They don't have the holiday dinners, the big barbecues like they used to do.
Right.
Some people still doing it, but it's, I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out. We just put it in God's hand. He'll get it together.
And your parents are the first people that teach you how to love.
That's right.
Your mother is your first love.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have that bond, and my grandmother used to always say to my aunts, watch how a man treats his mother. If he treats his mother badly, get out of there.
Ooh, I heard that one before.
It's good. It was great advice. She said, watch the relationship between a man and his mother. If he hates his mother, he'll never love you.
Oh, that's deep.
And I was like, wow.
He doesn't know how to really treat a woman, even not saying that some people might say, well, maybe his mother wasn't a good mother, but that still has nothing to say when you get in a relationship with him, because that's probably how he's going to treat you, because he doesn't know any better.
Right, because he's broken.
Yeah, that's part of being a man. All right, Vic, we had a good chance to get to know you for the first 30 minutes, so now we're about to jump in and find out how you meet your Miss Right. How did you meet her? So I'm starting off with the first question. So how did you meet her being a serviceman and then, relocating to Baltimore? I guess this is where you landed her. So go ahead and tell us your story, man.
Well, we were high school sweethearts. We didn't go to the same high school, but we met in a music program.
Wow.
And I would come home every summer from Georgia and stay with my grandmother. And my old music teacher, she would always, enroll me in the summer music program because the schools, they had like I think it was like a 8-week or 12-week comprehensive music program where, you studied like music history, music theory, and things like that. And we went on a field trip to Carowinds in Charlotte. And that's where we met. I was 15 and she was 14.
Wow.
And we became pen pals. And when I went back to Georgia, we kept in touch, through pen pals. And then when we graduated high school, became engaged, and I went overseas, came back, got married, and then we had our daughters. And that was just like a whirlwind.
Wow.
I've always wanted children. And, my daughters were just like the love of my life. It was wonderful watching them grow and mature and become young women, and she's an excellent mother. I couldn't have asked for a better mother for my children.
Amen.
And I think you have to have the same type of values, and I think importantly is that we're very good friends. You have to be friends, because life throws a lot of curves your way. It throws, it can be tough,
No doubt. Thank you.
But if you're friends, that gets you through some difficult situations.
All right. Thank you for that. All right, Latrina. Trina got you now.
So so you were with your wife when you were actually in the service too, correct?
Right. Once I was in the military for about a year, I got married at 21.
Okay.
And so I had been in for 2 years. Yes, because I went in at 19.
So how did you guys deal with the distance? I mean, when you were away, how did you guys keep that bond, that communication? Because that's very important. So how did you guys get through those times when you guys weren't physically together?
Well, I think that because we were still kids, I was 21 and she was 20, and I think because we were kids, it wasn't like it is now where you have, internet and Skype and all that crazy stuff now. All you had was letters. If I wrote a letter on Monday, she'd get it by Wednesday, write me one back on Wednesday, I get it by Friday.
Wow.
And that's all you had.
And you was happy to get that
letters. Yeah. You send pictures. And, I look forward to those letters. It was fun going to the mailbox and receiving those letters. Sometimes 2 or 3, because you didn't have, kids' room, as kids, our bedrooms was a bed in it, and you were lucky if you had a television. But 9 times out of 10, it was just a bed and probably a radio.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have all these things to entertain you.
Distractions.
Like kids have today. There was no computer. So you were able to focus on, what you were doing, which was writing your thoughts down on paper and sending it out.
Well, next question.
And I was overseas, so mail took 7 days. It was a 7-day process for mail. So, and absence make the heart grow fonder. So, it was one of those things where it was pretty common for most military people.
Got you.
And the fact that we had in common that we were from the same hometown and all that kind of stuff, it gave you a basis, to take root, so to speak.
Well, Victor,
we had that grounding.
Adamant about this question because you keep on going on, and I'm trying to get it in, and maybe because I'm so excited because I'm 32. I have a young love that's going on. We're not married. And it's probably a lot of younger people my age. And so you sound so awesomely still in love. So how do you guys continue to keep that romance after you guys were in your early 20s to now you're older? How are you guys still so much in love? Because I want to know, because I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can do. So 10, 15 years down the line, I can be where you guys are.
She's still hot.
You grow
She's
together.
Still hot, Victor. That's what it is.
You grow together. And as you grow together, you go through growing pains together. Like I read this book years ago by Terry McMillan, and it was called Disappearing Acts. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a great book. And the book talked about how when two people meet, a disappearing act happens. And when that disappearing act happens, two individuals become two different people, in this relationship. Mm. Because you can't go in a relationship and stay the same person you were when you came in it. Mm. A change has to happen.
Wow.
And if change does not happen, then someone is being selfish.
Yeah. That's deep, though. That's deep, Victor, because I'm thinking about the chapters I went through, because I was with my son, pretty much like going right into college. And we went 6-7 years, but I never committed to, that ring, because we was going through a lot of ups and downs. So it was like you never fall out of love, but you kind of say, oh, man, this look like this might be trouble down the line. So you're still waiting to see if everything going to kind of work itself out, and it didn't. So when I got 29, then I was like really ready myself to find that person. I knew what I wanted. So my wife was pretty young when I met her. Yeah.
That happens. Because
so how many years you guys been married?
Well, since '84.
Since '84. Oh, you stopped counting?
Yeah. After a while, you stop counting.
Yeah.
That's like what, 29.
I bought my first car in '84.
Yeah, but the thing is that I tell people that it is the hardest thing you will work on in your life, and it can be the most rewarding.
Yeah.
But you have to come out of yourself. And the thing is, when you are young and invincible, you think that you're an adult, you think you're grown, you're in the world for the first time, you're out of your parents' shadows, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And you jump out there and you think you're ready for everything. And when the world starts coming at you, you realize, oh my God, this isn't as easy as it looked, and you're learning as you go. That's why I always say grandparents, they're the best parents because they got all the experience.
That's right.
But, you learn as you go. I met a couple when I was a young married person. I had a neighbor, and her and her husband, they had been married for, I think at the time, 40 years. But they were separated for 20.
Oh.
And she said what happened was when they got married, they lived in New York. And when they got married and had their children, she realized when they got into the marriage that he was not ready for the responsibility of marriage. He still had a lot of play in him. He was hanging out in the streets and all that kind of stuff. So they decided, but they knew they loved each other. So they decided that they would separate, and as the years go by, they would decide later if they would get back together. And if they got back together, they decided that they could not ask either one about what happened, who they were with or whatever. So I found it fascinating that they could have been separated that long and then come back. And she said that when they came back together 20 years later, they both had been in separate relationships. She had dated someone else that pretty much helped her raise her children, and they saw this other person almost like a father figure. And when she came back to her husband, because they never divorced, when they got back together, she said that their love was stronger than ever because they both were mature. They both knew what they wanted. They knew they wanted to be together. And I said, I had never heard anything like that before. I was just floored. And when I saw them, they were so in sync. You would have never known that they were separated for 20 years.
Mm.
And, they did everything together. And she all of a sudden became ill. She got cancer, and she died within 6 months.
That is crazy.
And she said, before she died, she said that she had no regrets. She was glad that they got back together. And they've been back together, I think, for like 7 or 10 years.
Mm.
And she said they enjoyed every day of their lives. They never asked either about, they knew of the other people, but they never asked questions about the other people.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. So love is really, I think the dynamic of love is stronger than what we realize at times.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
When you hear the stories of what some people go through in relationships and things like that, because most times you start relationships when you're very young.
Yes.
And as you mature and season, as you become a man, you're not the boy you were when you first started on the journey.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So Victor, tell us a little bit some of the fun things you guys like to do together, man, to keep it so spicy hot, man. All these years. What are you guys doing? Being creative.
Well, sometimes just being together in quiet times is just as fun as going out and doing other things. You have to always show that person that you appreciate them.
That's right.
You can never take for granted, because sometimes we get in a rut and you get in routines, and then you start taking for granted this person that has been on your side this whole time. And you have to constantly put that other person first. You have to make their happiness more important than your own, and vice versa.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're busy trying to make that person happy, and they're busy trying to make you happy, both of you are happy.
That's right.
And I think that I sometimes I look back and I say, where has the time gone? One day I was 21, next day I was 50.
Wow.
And I'm like,
right.
wow. So I tell my young daughter, my oldest daughter is now a married woman. She's been married for 2 years this June.
Congratulations.
And I tell her and her husband, yeah, thank you, yeah. And I tell her and her husband all the time, I said, enjoy your youth. Start now appreciating each other. Always have each other's back. This person has to be the person that you turn to, not anyone else. That's how you build the bonds.
Amen.
Because one thing about scars, scars can take forever to heal.
Yeah.
And they're never totally erased. You can overcome them.
That's right.
But they're always there. So I always advise them to, enjoy your youth. Youth is exciting. Enjoy that. Enjoy one another. And then one day when you're that old couple looking back, you can just look at each other and smile.
That's right.
When you look at each other, you recollect on your youth and the fun times you've had, how you enjoyed one another. Because you're only young for a short time.
That is so true.
Wow.
Victor,
like I said, don't get hooked up in simple drama. Things that are not that important, problem. Just drop it.
Hey, Vic, Trina trying to get a question into you. Can you hear her pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Jerry? You can't hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Now, Victor, how do you deal with temptation? You seem to be very well in your career. You've been from the military and now have an awesome career, awesome wife. at a place in your life where everything seems nice? How do you deal with the temptation of maybe other women seeing something good that they may want? How do you deal with that?
Well, one thing about maturity, what you do as a young boy shouldn't be the same thing you do as a mature man. When you become a mature man and you know the value of what you have, nothing should be able to shake that. Meaning nothing. There's always going to be someone who looks prettier or is more attractive or what have you. That's just the way the world is.
Right.
There are other men, that are much more attractive than me, all that kind of stuff. Got the great bodies, all that. But as you grow older, those things tend to fall by the wayside. Those things become less important. And what becomes more important is the value, of what you have, the history that you built. That starts to mean more than anything, because one thing about new relationships, they take time to build.
Oh yeah.
And in building relationships, that person got to get to know you. You know them. You got to work out the kinks, learn what pushes buttons, all this kind of crazy stuff. And it can be a rough journey. Love is never easy, and it's never always fun times. They're going to be shouting matches, the whole 9 yards. But I think that with love should come respect. You can have an argument with each other, but you should never disrespect one another.
That's right.
Because when you love someone, you don't disrespect them. You can disagree all day long, but you should never degrade and disrespect the other person.
That's right. That is true.
Because when you hurt that person, you hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to take spoken words back.
Oh, my God, yes. It's hard to take spoken words back. It's hard to change actions that have already been done. Yeah.
Wow, man. Can't wait to meet Mrs. Hamilton.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, man. Sound like it, man. I mean, you should have wrote a book, man. What's going on?
It's not too late.
When I was younger, I thought about writing books and all that kind of stuff. But the thing about books is, when you write books, you can't write a book without including the whole world around you. Other family members and everything. And I've always respected the fact that, you almost got to make sure everyone's on board with what you're writing.
Yeah, that is true.
Our family members may not want their business out.
Yeah, and sit down and talk to everybody. It's hard,
right? It's hard to put your business out without putting theirs out too.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen some bad things happen. So I've been in this industry for a long time, man. And you're right. You absolutely have to sit everybody down and let them peek the manuscript before it's released. And if there's any changes need to be made,
you can really destroy, a family dynamic.
Yeah, you sure can. If it's not all good.
Right. There's one thing if you're just doing a book of positive things and you're only focusing on positive things, but if you're doing a book on, the reality of life, family, the things that go on in the family, it can be very rough.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But you had a very good journey in your life, man. Being a serviceman or finding your wife at a very young age. That's a very unusual story, man. Somebody becomes your love of your life to start out as your pen pal,
right.
Didn't live in your neighborhood. That's a very unique story, man.
Yeah, it's very unique.
I applaud you for that. Sharing your story with us. And Hamilton, before you go, man, we got about 2 more minutes left. I want Latrina to end with the last question, and we're gonna go ahead and close out the show. And before she ends the show, I want to say thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story with us, man. I'm sure that's inspiring to anybody listening, and anybody who ever listened to this show. I think they're gonna be inspired, and they're gonna wish, if they had that person the way you had met your person, they wish they had the person now.
Yeah, never give up on love, even if it doesn't work the first time. When you fall down, get up and try again.
Amen.
That sounds good, which will probably tie in to my last question. The show is Finding Your Mr. Right, and I'm sure there are a lot of ladies who've been through different situations, turmoil, mess, children's fathers, marriages.
Right.
What advice would you give them to keep striving and to keep going? Because, you know, there is someone out there for them.
Right.
Or maybe,
you know, I think it's important as young women to look at what you're looking for. If you're just looking for the physical, that tends to come with a lot of drama. But if you're looking for quality, you know, if you're looking for a life partner, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to come wrapped up in the package of your dreams. But you will lose out if you focus totally on the physical and not the person. Because you can have someone that's gorgeous to look at and hell to live with. You know? Or you can have someone that's an average-looking person, but the love in them is so beautiful that you see what you never would have seen had you not allowed yourself to go there.
Yeah, awesome.
Because, I mean, you know, we're only young for a short period of time, and we're not going. You know, some people do, very few, but you're not going to maintain your same look, you know, your same physical bodies as you had when you were 21 or 20. You know, 9 times out of 10 is not going to happen.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look at them younger pictures when we were like 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I tell you. Yeah.
That's right, man. And it's funny because I look at my wife and I pictures, and we were both, you know, skinny like rails, man. And, you know, over the years, you just don't notice that because we're growing, we still the same size with each other.
Right. But, you know, the funny thing is, when you look at that person, you still see that younger person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? But see, only you can see that. A stranger off the street can't see that because they don't have that history.
Yeah,
you know?
That's
but
right.
Through love, your eyes is able to see that because you were there.
That's right. No doubt.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Powerful, man. Powerful. All right, V, we got to end the show, man, because I got another guest that's going to be coming on board. But we really appreciate your insight, man, and bringing it like you brought it to us, man. Really appreciate it, guy. Definitely. Yeah, that was definitely worth the sale of a ticket.
I love how Aretha Franklin says, no one person has key to your happiness.
That's
so
true.
if it doesn't work, you know, you don't just give up on it. You try again.
That's right. Try again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. Thank Mr. Victor Hamilton for sharing his love story. That was definitely a prize winner there. And we're going to end the show. And just remember, all these shows are online, on demand. And you can just listen to them as long as you like till you blue in the face. Take care, everyone, and continue to browse our website and enjoy what we have to bring to you on positivepower21.org.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to the Positive Power 21 Network. Team 21 would like to thank you all for tuning in, and please spread the word and tell a friend. This is Jerry Royce at Positive Power 21, where we get our positive on.